Like I'm so freaking nobody do it like you do.
Peace and grace. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Peace and grace. All of my beautiful friends and family, my comrades, good afternoon. And thank you for joining me once again this afternoon, this beautiful Saturday, second day of November 2024. I'm Rachelle Wilson, and I'm here at the Make Some Intelligent Noise Studios, broadcasting to you live on my Facebook, YouTube, podcast, and a variety of other social media sites. I do not own the rights to this music, but it kind of gave me that feeling because I'm feeling really good today. And Remy kind of helps me to feel even better. So I'm going to shut her down just to make sure that you can hear me over her music.
And all I want you to do is just bless me. Let's see this kid that I'm waiting on. He said he loved when my jeans look pink.
Oh, that's Remy. I look too good. I look too good. And I feel absolutely amazing, ladies and gentlemen. I feel amazing. So I've got we have a lot to talk about today. And I want to get to it in just a moment. But first, I have to make a very quick clarification or distinction, if you will. I want to be very clear, and perhaps some of you may feel this way as well. It's kind of a coward's way to do a negotiation with the terrorists. I believe, terrorists are cowards within themselves, but it's cowardly to kind of bow down to a terrorist. And my moral standards, just simply in good consciousness, will not allow me to do that. However, I was raised with good principles and good morals and good integrity that I've learned along the way as I've aged, and I believe I get better with time, right? So if I make a mistake, as I was raised, if you make a mistake, then you correct it, you fix it, right? You apologize, you do what you got to do, and you make it right. But when you're standing on truth and moral principles of proper conduct, you stand your ground. So that's kind of how I was raised. That's sort of what I believe in for the most part. But I do want to make a clarification. Something that I said on September 28th. My broadcast on September 28th made a statement that kind of ruffled a few feathers. So I just want to straighten it out to make sure that we're all on the same page, all right? And we can move along, grow along forward, all right? So it's kind of like, think about if the United States federal government gave the state of Delaware $1 million for whatever program, community, and neighborhoods, right? The distinction is, obviously, in order for the state of Delaware to receive that grant money or that donation from the federal government, the person at the highest level of authority and administration has to sign off on it. In this case, that would be the governor. So I liken the situation that I said something on the 28th of September 2024 that much assimilates to that. The statement that I made was that Council Representative Shanae Darby of the 2nd District did indeed give money to the president of the Civic Association, Mr. Tony Dunn. I'd like to correct that and make the distinction that it was not a personal check that was given to the president of the Civic Association, but it was monies that were appropriated for the 2500 Civic Association. And obviously the highest level of authority there, the president, the treasurer, and so forth, would have to be the people who could accept that under the proper lawful and legal banking accounts, EIN numbers, and so forth. So I want to make that distinction. in that report, where I stated that Council Representative Darby gave money to a person, please let me correct that. She gave the money, she appropriated money to the 2500 Civic Association, and to the highest levels of authority that can then appropriate it to the community. All right. So I do apologize, for not making that clarification in my original post, but I'm making that clarification now. I don't want there to be any misconstrued information that Representative Darby is going around handing people personal and individual checks, because that is not what she's doing. All right. In the 2nd District. That's not it. So I just wanted to make that clarification so everyone can be on the exact same page. And Representative Darby, in no way at all did I mean to offend you. I do apologize. City Council Representative Shanae Darby. All right. Thank you for your forgiveness. All right. So moving on from there, in other news, I think it's really important that we get right down to a couple of the announcements. So I want to give an absolute shout out to Council Representative of the 4th District, none other than Michelle Harley. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you so much, Michelle. Had a great time, a blast hanging out with you last night, and hanging out with you always makes me a better woman, a better human being, just all the way across the board. You are truly a woman who is a disciple, a disciplined follower of the Christ principles. And I appreciate you for that, as well as your guidance and your wisdom. So thank you, Michelle Harley, for that. Enjoyed you so much last night. Xanthia Oliver, I love you. Thank you, Xanthia. I'm absolutely ecstatic about hanging out with you on Sunday night at the annual November shindig. So I'm really excited. Can't wait to hang out with you, Xanthia Oliver. You're amazing. Thank you so much for all that you do. Also want to give a shout out to none other than my dear friends and my comrades, Minister Robert Muhammad from the Nation of Islam, Mosque number 35. Also want to give a shout out to Bishop George Gibson. Just two amazing men of clergy and spirit. Thank you for your wisdom, your guidance, all of your assistance, and absolutely thank you for your prayers. I do appreciate you. Mwah. I love you both so very, very much. Moving on from there, it's Brother John Muhammad. Please remember, November 9th, Brother John Muhammad is doing a Boys to Men kind of a forum event, and we're asking everyone to come out and participate in that. That will be from 1 o'clock p.m. until 4 o'clock p.m. at the Route 9 Library, Brother John Muhammad with a host of amazing men who will be speaking, guest speakers who are doing their best, giving it their all to save our young brothers, our young boys, our sons, our nephews, right? Just save them from even themselves, right? But of course, the streets, which leads me into a shout out to Brother Elder Ty Johnson. Bravo. Yay. For your successful night. CTAC Take a Corner. Churches Take a Corner. Last night, November 1st, you did that. You were very successful. And I just send you an absolute bravo. Keep up the good work, brother. No matter what, do not give up. Do not give up and do not give in. All right. This is a time that I've got to tell you the wisdom of Michelle Harley last night and always since we've been friends is astonishing, because, we know that we're living in a time where the earth is changing, human beings are changing, generations are changing, attitudes and spirits are moving and changing and doing whatever they do. So this is definitely a time for all of us to beware and to stay focused on what is positive and what is beautiful, and to be the change to make life better for ourselves, our families, and for our communities, for whatever time we have left that this planet Earth will allow us to continue to live. But from the words of the Bible and given to me from Michelle Harley, the earth is groaning Planet Earth is groaning, and it's in the Bible. Planet Earth is groaning for a lot of various different reasons. And in many ways, the planet, Mother Earth, has to purge herself, in order to survive. And for all of us here, we too have to purge ourselves from the groaning, right? Those things that make us groan in order to move forward in the best, most positive karmic energy that can possibly exist for each one of us, right? Again, want to give another shout out to Veteran Services. Joe Walls, we love you, Joe. You're absolutely amazing. You are really, truly an advocate for all of our those people who have served in the United States military. Joe Walls is a true advocate for the veterans. All right. And so we just appreciate him for that. And he has something coming up November 5th. Yes, that's election day, but he has something coming up November 5th. And he's going to be doing that at the Route 9 Library. Yeah, Route 9 Library. Let's see here, just November 5th. And he's going to be doing it at the Route 9 Library. Yep, that's what it says. So I don't see, 11 to 3 a.m. 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. Joe Walls. But you can always support Joe by going to Joe Walls at Veteran Services. Joe Walls at Veteran Services. And there you would be able to get more information on how can you help the veterans who have served this country, this nation, and our people, even giving their lives or limbs in order to protect us and defend our rights. So we want to make sure that we show them love and support in every single way that we possibly can. All right. So Joe Walls. All right. That's what we want to do. We want to show Joe Walls love and support for all that he does for all of our veteran services. These men and women have served to make life better and safer for us. So they deserve our loyalty and our support. All right. Also want to give a quick shout out to the Delaware Center for Justice. The Delaware Center for Justice did an amazing program. I was so happy to be able to attend Visions of Justice. Visions of Justice done by the Delaware Department of Justice, Center for Justice, and we appreciate them. There was a host of Delaware Department of Correction administration from the highest levels. Had a chance to really chit chat a little bit with some of those good folks and build relationships that are positive and healthy relationships. So I really am thankful for that. And it was just an amazing forum. The whole forum was absolutely amazing. So thank you for that. Visions of Justice. Please continue to keep up the good work because it matters and it means so much to people such as myself who are boots on ground and actually doing the work of advocating for justice impacted reforms. All right. So I think that's important. So finally, I want to get down to something else. I've been watching mainstream media, probably much like all of us. And I've had it up to here with mainstream media and all of the, election, the propaganda, the advertisements, the conversations, like it just goes on and on and on. It kind of comes down to many of the people that I've spoken with, to vote for the lesser of the two evils, considering, it's true. I really think that China and Putin from Russia are kind of gearing up, maybe to do something sneaky and offensive. So to American soils, and we very well could be on the brink of World War III. All right. World War III, depending on how conversations are going and how that's all working out. So we got a lot of stuff going on over in Israel, the Palestinians, Ukraine, and I really think China is gearing themselves up. I believe North Korea is standing at a pause, ready to, get involved in any way that they possibly can. And I'm not sure that I trust Putin 100,000% that he's going to be on the up and up with all of us as well. So if indeed it's true that we're on the brink of World War III, and I pray that we're not. Like I sincerely pray that that's not what's happening. But also we want to be prepared in the event we wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning with bombs going off, right? We've been invaded by another nation. So, make sure that you stock your closets, your water, you have water and canned goods and blankets and whatever you need, rations you need to live and survive for you and your family in the event that some sort of a catastrophe does take place, between America and all of these other nations, right? Always got to put ourselves in everybody else's business. If we mind our own business and get our own business straightened out, as the old folks would say back in the South, like sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around someone else's, right? Like, we're so quick to point our fingers at other people and what they're doing wrong. And we're not taking a good hearty look at ourselves in the mirror to make sure that we are in divine alignment for our positive purpose, doing what we're supposed to be doing, to serve that which is greater than ourselves, right? Divine energy, if you believe that there is a divine energy. So I don't know, but I was so curious as I continued to watch mainstream media and all of these. Oh my God, America is so divided with all of these. People are attacking each other like with a spirit that is totally ungodly. I don't know how they call themselves Christians or followers of Christ with that type of negative and evil energy. You can't possibly be following the principles of Yeshua the Christo, doing that, right? But they are doing terrible, like making terrible accusations, defaming other people's characters, slandering people, politicians, right? I guess that's what they do. I don't know. That's one of the reasons I never wanted to get involved in politics. I always said I'll sit on the sidelines and journal what politicians are doing. Not interested in getting involved because that's just my character, My heart is too sincere and too transparent and loving and kind to get involved with that sort of thing. Like, I'd rather just walk away and not associate with you anymore than to get dragged in to a whole bunch of negative, nasty slander and just nasty campaigns against each other, right? So, but as I was watching this stuff on mainstream media, I'm thinking to myself, where did it all really begin? We're looking at Donald Trump. We're looking at Kamala Harris, their records of the past. Everyone is allowed to have a past. We'll let him without sin cast the first stone. Honestly, that's kind of biblical as well. So, they're just kind of going at each other. It's really nasty. It's really ugly. And you kind of get to a point where you say, well, what is the lesser of the two evils that I can vote for on Tuesday? Because Tuesday is November 5th. 2024, and it's time to go and hit those ballots. And please, ladies and gentlemen, I'd rather you vote the lesser of two evils than to sit home and vote for no one, and then you lose your voice, right? You lose your voice when you don't vote. Your vote really is your voice. So make sure you comrade with all your buddies or whatever you're going to do. Make a whole party out of it, and go and vote on November 5th if you haven't already completed the early voting process. But I was looking it up and I said, who created all of this presidency stuff? Like, where did this begin and why? And so I did a little bit of a quick Google research and I came to find that none other, and here's the facts, it was 1787 that a president of the United States of America, the idea originated or created, invented in 1787 in Philadelphia at the Constitutional Convention. The Constitutional Convention, the founding fathers, if you want to call them that, And that's another conversation of founding fathers. Okay. But those particular people came together at the convention, the Constitutional Convention, and decided, well, we need a leader for the corporation. And so let's select a person. We'll vote. We'll all cast a ballot for who we think is the best leader, president of the corporation, right? The United States of America, which of course we know George Washington was the first president, because they believe that he was the most, what is the word that they used? Associated with the establishment. George Washington was most associated with the establishment. All right. And so he would be the best candidate, the best person to put in as the president of the United States, parentheses, corporation. Okay. So we also, many of us know that George Washington was married to Martha Custis. Okay, Martha Custis was a big slave owner. Much of it she inherited from her previous husband. So when she and George Washington got together, he was also a slave owner, but she had the largest amount. And remember, slaves always meant wealth. The more slaves that you had, the more money or wealth to your plantation and to whatever goods you were selling. You were just considered a higher esteemed, wealthy, powerful person if you had more slaves. So George Washington and Martha Custis Washington, his wife, had a significant number of slaves on their plantation in Mount Vernon. And so because of that purpose, he was deemed as the best person to be the president of the United States of America due to his wealth, his elite status, and so forth and so on, because he had an enormous, significant number of black and brown people working in the fields and in the houses, known then as slaves. Okay. So that's kind of where it all started. Again, another day we'll have to take a closer look at the word establishment. What does that mean? Well, we know that anytime you put M-E-N-T, meant, M-E-N-T at the end of any word, you're always talking about a mentality. The etymology of the word meant is from the original Latin language, meant of mentality, your thinking, right? So to establish something means that it is set on a foundation. It has been established. This is what it is. All right. So the mentality or the thinking of the founding fathers, right, was that we needed a president of the United States corporation to continue or to move forward the establishment of the foundation of the United States of America. For those of you who study the law, such as myself, we can take that apart and dissect it and peel back the layers, and we comprehend what all of that language means. To some of my new beginners in law, you're just kind of learning words or things like that. It might be important for you to go ahead and get your Black's Law Dictionary and look the word establishment up in that dictionary and find out for yourself, what does it mean to be a founding father of an establishment, the president of the establishment. So as we move forward, November 5th, Tuesday, for those of us who have not done the early voting, we're waiting to get right there on November 5th with all of the shenanigans and the hoopla. All right. For those of us who are waiting for November 5th, let's make sure that we show up. However it is that we got to show up, catch a ride, do what you got to do, catch up with your girls, your boys, your brothers, your friends, your uncles, whatever, and make a whole party day of it and get out to those voting polls early so that you can cast your vote, which is casting your voice. All right. Now, whether you choose the lesser of the two evils, you tell me who that's going to be, who's going to take this nation, this establishment, into the future in a positive and productive way, and can handle the potential if there is World War III, if these other nations start getting in their feelings, so to speak, it's usually ego that causes people to get involved in a whole bunch of foolishness and fighting and wars and killing and slander, and defamation of character. That's the ego. Somebody's ego is out of alignment. But nonetheless, we've got Putin and we've got North Korea. China looks like it's moving around to do something. And of course, you've got America in the middle of all of that. Israel, Ukraine, everything else. So if indeed, I'm on to something here and we are about to embark upon World War III, okay, make sure you load up on plenty of bullets if necessary, if that's what you got to do at your home, in order to protect yourself and your family. Do what you got to do. Get your rationales, your rations or whatever, your canned goods, your water, whatever it is that you need in order to survive an attack against these United States of America establishment, these grounds here on our land, our soil. America's never had to deal with that before. So who's going to take us through that? Who's going to be the best person to protect us through all of that? But personally, I wouldn't rely on a whole bunch of other people coming to protect me. I'm going to do my best to protect myself, and my home and my family and my property from any type of invasion of another nation, another country, another nation coming to this country, with beef and big egos. Big egos, right? So, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, who's going to take us far? Will it be Donald Trump? Will it be Kamala Harris? Who's going to do that? Make a decision. And make sure your voice is heard on November 5th if you haven't already done that. Who is the best person qualified to lead us through the next 4 years, right? Who's going to do that and do it well? Because remember, and I will not ever take it back when I say leaders lead from the front. Leaders lead from the front, which means they also get the first shots. The first, attacks are always on those who are the best leaders, but nonetheless, leaders are ingenious people. They're usually kind and, they sort of believe in the people that they are leading. So therefore, they'll take those hits. They'll take the blows for the bigger picture and the greater good. All right. So I feel that, again, using the language of brother and minister Muhammad, it's always the bigger person who knows how to make the apology, who knows how to make the clarification and the distinction, because leaders lead from the front and they're the ones that usually take the first shots. All right. So who's going to lead America forward? You tell me. We'll find out on November 6th. No doubt. We're going to find out. So I'm Rachelle Wilson, here to make some intelligent noise, and I feel amazing broadcasting to you today from the MSIN studios here in Wilmington, Delaware. When I get myself, in a place where negotiations are working in my favor, perhaps you'll see me, back at the radio station. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see how things move forward. For right now, I feel amazing, and I pray that you are also having a fabulous and beautiful day. Remember, God loves you, and so too do I. Karma's real. How you treat other people, what you say about other people, it will boomerang back to you or to a member of your family. So create good karma. Be good to people. Be kind. Be honest. Be transparent. Be truthful. And that makes all the difference in the world. I'm Rachelle Wilson. Mwah! Enjoy this beautiful rest of this day. It's a little nippy out, so you might need a sweater, but it's a beautiful day to get out and about and enjoy your day. I'm Rachelle Wilson. Peace and grace. Make some intelligent noise.